All right. Good evening and good night, and welcome to the It's Your Perspective Talk Show. It is Monday, November 9th, 2015. It's about 8:15 p.m. My name is David, a.k.a. Kimba, a.k.a. Christian, and we have the beautiful and talented Audrey in the studio tonight. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
You're doing great?
Yes.
I just want to say that this is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're doing a special show tonight. It's Monday. Weekly, 8 p.m. until. We do have a telephone number, 340-201-9005. You can also text us on that number as well. But most importantly, you have to go to our website, streaming live from the vi.com. We also have email as well, streaming live from the vi@yahoo.com. You can also get a hold of us there too. But most importantly here for our guests and our co-host has already heard this, but for our guest tonight, we are streaming live from the high-tech, low-tech studio, coming to you from an undisclosed location here in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. No radio, no TV, internet only. Pick up your smartphone, your Apple, your Android, your tablet, your iPad, your Mac, or your Windows computer. Open up your browser, Firefox, Safari, whatever you use, and you'll be able to see the show by simply going to our website, streaming live from the vi.com. All our recorded live shows are on our YouTube channel and Ustream.tv channel. Just search for It's Your Perspective Talk Show. You'll be able to see all our shows there from way back in April of 2014. Give us a like on Facebook. We have 2 Facebook pages there. Definitely got to give a mad shout out to CHS class of 1982. That's the class that I'm representing. I want to give a shout out to Vanessa, Julie, Sharice, Roshima Quiet, Storm Smith, Audrey, who is here tonight, and many other that have stepped into the studio here to do some co-hosting with us. But more importantly, we want to thank all our guests that have been on the show and believing in what we're doing here. We're on Twitter as well. Tweet with us at VI Perspective. We're moving straight forward and up. The show's mission is just to inform, entertain, and empower everyone. And Ms. Ryan, you have any kind words of wisdom that you'd like to share real quick?
Oh, sure, definitely.
All right, give us some good kind words of wisdom.
Yes, I will. Well, actually, this is from Mother Teresa. Every time you smile at someone, it is an action of love, a gift to that person, a beautiful thing. Just a smile goes such a long way. Every time you smile at someone, it is an action of love, a gift to that person, a beautiful thing.
All right. Sounds very good. Thank you so much for that. And as we move on here, we do have some special guests in the studio tonight. They are with Achieve the Impossible Inc. Haig. Help me here, Haig. What's your last name here? Yeah. Huh?
Say again?
Dubik. Dubik. Okay.
Let me take the easiest one.
Okay.
Okay? And Eva Morris.
Okay. And then Juliet Arthurton is here. These ladies and gentlemen here are with Achieve the Impossible Inc. Because there's a very special event coming up this week, November 13th and 14th here on St. Croix. The Learning Disabilities Awareness Conference here in St. Croix, and they're here to tell us all about it. Welcome to our studio, ladies and gentlemen. Wave to the crowd. I got to say wave to the crowd right now because you guys are streaming out. They are seeing you.
Hi, everybody.
Wave to the crowd. They're streaming out right now. So thanks for coming out on a Monday and kind of sharing some stories and some history and then what's getting ready to happen here. So tell us a little bit about your organization real quick.
Achieve the Impossible Inc. was formed seeing the need with children with learning disabilities and hidden disabilities that we don't really consider disabilities. They are dysgraphia, which is basically writing directions, directional from left and right, children having issues with those measures. Dyslexia, which is a very common disability, but we don't consider it as a disability, with reading fluency or can't decoding letters and numbers. Also dyscalculia. A lot of us might just have problems with math and don't realize it's a disability. That's calculating numbers. even geometry and such like. It's very important that we begin to look at these areas because it has created stigma, having children be called dumb, stupid, retarded because they can't function. And there are strategies that can help a child, can help an adult not really get over, because you don't get over it, but if you learn a strategy or have a learning device, a tool to work with. And it's not a one-size-fits-all. You can't just decide, well, all the children is going to learn the same, because all of us do not have the same learning styles.
Okay. So how long have you guys been doing this?
Actually, the organization was just founded about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And basically just one-on-one trying to help students. But now you have parents that it's more than just one person. So this year we decided to have a conference and have some specialists come down. It's not that we don't have specialists here, but we need the extra help.
Okay. So are you a teacher of some sort?
No, I'm a parent.
Okay, you're a parent.
Yes.
Okay. And so you formed this group because of your children or your child?
Yes, my children. I have a son with ADHD, and also I have a son that has dyslexia, and he is also considered legally blind.
Okay. And Eva, you have a story as well. I guess you were sort of talking about before we started here.
Well, my concern is really truly about the children too, because I have a granddaughter that I registered for school, and she went to school when school was open in September, and I got a call from education stating that they're dropping her from school because she's too young. So they asked me if I could pick her up right away. I said no. I will do so when the school is finished. I will go and pick her up. And I said, is the school aware of this? They said, yes. The school is the one that called them, the Department of Education. So it's like they wait until almost the marking period finish to put the child out of school. And here am I now going to another school, and which is so late that they are already full that the child can be in school. But my concern is about how they do things in the Virgin Islands. I don't know about other places, but how they do things here. It's not fair to the children then, because every morning she will get up. Am I going to school today? Am I going to school today? And I will say, no, you're not going to school. And she have learned so much being in there for like 2 months, going on whatever, 3 months or whatever. But I know God is able, and I'm just, trying to teach her at home, the basic stuff, which I got help from a school giving me some books and stuff. So, I leave it in God's hands.
Okay. And Haig, your involvement in all of this?
Yes, kind of. It's a very good thing that she's doing. So therefore, I set my mind to help. And one of the things we can do is to, as we hear tonight, publishing this stuff on the radio, so let the community know what we are doing.
Hey, if I can interrupt you here real quick, make sure that you have that mic on. Is the button up?
Yeah, it's on.
It's up?
Yeah.
Facing up? Okay.
Yeah.
Just hold it a little closer.
Okay, all right. So therefore, that's why we are here tonight, that you all could know in the community what we are doing, so you all could take part in that event. It is a very good thing for our kids. It's not a matter of fact, just because your kids is not involved, that you should not involve also in this community. So therefore, we are inviting you all that these kids maybe will be the future of tomorrow. So we thank God for that opportunity that she can take the underdog. In other words, sometimes we are all the way up there, but there are some kids or individual that is low down there. So someone got to lift them up and direct them in some possible things in life.
Okay, okay. And so as a result of each of you having, I guess, a story to tell, this group comes about, and then now you're having some speakers come in to sort of, I guess, educate
Yes.
the masses here, in particular in St. Croix and I guess the Virgin Islands, on how kids can be affected and how they're affected and how to get them treated and get them up to speed?
Yes. One of the reasons why that I have I'm trying to raise the awareness. Why I use the word to raise it and not increase it, it's because when you hear dysgraphia, dyscalculia, dyslexia, what are these things? You use the phrase to people and they're like, I've never really heard of it. We've heard dyslexia somewhat. People feel, okay, well, that person reads backwards, but dyslexia, we'll focus our point on basically dyslexia right now within the conference and not all at one time.
Okay.
Because dyslexia is the most common learning disability.
Okay.
You have, as far as I understand, it's a one out of 4 for some states, 1 out of 5 in children.
Is that in the Virgin Islands too? The same ratio applies?
Well, the ratio is, it's not as nice, according to what I see from some statistics that was released in July.
Okay.
Our kindergarten, 46% are not ready for kindergarten. 54%. If I'm calling the right calculations, the third graders, they don't have reading fluency. 63% of our 11th graders are not ready for graduation.
Okay.
So when you do that ratio, it's like 1 out of 2.
Okay.
And that concerns me. And it's not only in the public school system. We have a tendency to just wrap the public school as the areas of weakness. But we don't know what's going on in the private school.
Okay.
Unless a parent, like today, a parent called me and she asked me if I can tutor her daughter. But she's not in the public school, she's in a private school area, and the mother is really concerned about her daughter coming up to the level that she should be. But she is not a toddler. She's going on to the 7th grade.
Okay.
And
okay.
These are the areas of weakness is, of course, kindergarten. They're just coming in. You can bear with them, but when a child reaches the 3rd grade and they're struggling, the struggle is going to maintain for a while unless they are, they have some support.
Okay.
And if that support is not there, as they climb to the 7th grade, there's where you have the dropout rates. If they do go further, there is more dropouts, or they go to school, they retain, and sometimes parents wonder, okay, in kindergarten and 1st grade, you were doing great, but you didn't have as much words to look at. It's cat, rat, bat, but then you begin to read sentences in the 2nd grade, and for some, they're reading paragraphs, and that child, or those children, they get left behind from the others within the classroom.
Okay.
So it's a basic concern of mine.
So let me ask you, can I guess a kindergarten teacher or a 1st grade teacher sort of recognize this? With a classroom of students, can they recognize that there's something wrong here?
If-
I mean, are they taught for that, or is that more of a specialized thing?
It can be recognized, but when children are, for past years, when a child is in the kindergarten, first grade, and they're struggling, they'll say, oh, they will grow out of it. Because that's what they said with my son. But those grades, you learn by repetition. You hear the teacher say something, the class says something. So this child, they shine and are brilliant. They are brilliant. Dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, that's another one that pertain to a child's balance. These areas does not diminish intelligence.
Okay.
And because, for instance, a child would be very fluent with his words. He can articulate. He can tell you where he's been, where he's directional. He can find things. He can create things with his hands. But then when he starts to read, that's the struggle.
Okay.
Decoding letters and decoding numbers. And then you will think, oh, that child lazy. He don't want to read because he's very intelligent. But we need to look and take a realistic look at what is happening to our children in our society.
Okay.
So then it would take possibly firsthand the parents, okay, because they're the person that they're around, they're the person that see that maybe perhaps the motor skills may not be as it should be, maybe, you want to think, right?
Not necessarily.
No, I'm coming. Hold a minute. I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm not blaming the parent. I'm just saying, because even if a parent noticed that something is different with the child, and as in your case, and went to get it checked out, but perhaps you're being told, let's hold on, let's see, let's go from there. So it means that we need to have a great big partnership, and that everybody in our profession then would need to be able to recognize and work with.
Yeah,
because what's going to happen is that your grandbaby, like her, they're going to call somebody else and say, listen, you need to come and get your grandbaby. Okay? And then so now you're left home trying to teach your grandbaby. You're left home with questions, and so is your grandbaby at that age. So we really, as a partnership, we really need to come up more as a partnership and get the understanding, because it really and truly, we don't understand. We don't understand. I heard about dyslexia, but I never heard of dyscalculia and dysgraphia. And, actually when Pastor started to talk about it, I was like, he really know what he's talking about. Yeah, but we need that partnership.
Yes, it's very important. That partnership it's like gold for a rich man to put in his treasure box.
Okay.
We are not the only ones just realizing this issue. America is doing a campaign right now on dyslexia, dysgraphia. A lot of people are going to Washington. A lot of parents, a lot of groups are going and saying, hey, this way, the standard way of learning is not working out for our children.
Okay.
So it's not that it's targeted to the Virgin Islands. It's not that it's targeted just to America. It's just all over the world. What has happened through the years past is that we had labels for children. On a report card, it has excellent, good, very good. And we categorize those children in those areas. But now they're finding out these very same children that might have been poor readers. They couldn't do math. They couldn't even tie their shoelaces. They find out these are the champions that actually shape society. They have, their intelligence is second to none. You know, they're great men and women. And when you look at it and see, like you're saying, there must be a partnership. And those partners must realize that that child has a gift or strengths that they can achieve. And that's why the nonprofit agency is called Achieve the Impossible.
The impossible.
Because we would look at them and think, it's impossible.
Okay.
One of the doctors, her name is Tracy Johnson, they told Tracy the only thing that you will be able to do is sweep and mop. But she began to actually look into that one word called dyslexia.
Okay.
And she went to college and they told her, why is she here? She doesn't belong there. But she found a mentor, and that mentor helped her through her associate's degree. And then she went on to her bachelor's, her master's, and now I think she has a doctorate in theological studies.
Okay.
But her master's and her bachelor's is in education, the same place that she failed.
Okay.
And her average is a 4.0.
Okay. Now, before we get on to, you mentioned Dr. Tracy Johnson, but I wanted to ask a question about, so what is the process here in the Virgin Islands when it comes to education and a teacher recognizes that maybe something is wrong? I mean, what is the process? Is there like a formal process where the child is maybe, you know?
There can be pitfalls.
Okay.
A teacher, and we have good teachers here on the island, but a teacher is strapped. When I say strapped, she can notice that a child, especially in the third grade, they kind of might say, leave them alone in the first, maybe in the second, but in the third grade it's very visible that this child is struggling. She might make it mention to the parent, and the first thing the parent might say, she doesn't like my child.
Okay.
Or he doesn't like my child. And it depends, it's a sensitivity issue, because you can't just go and tell a parent, well, your child is not learning, not keeping up with the class, but you're seeing something different at home. That child is flamboyant, he's creative, he can dialogue, but how can this teacher say my child is not functionable in the classroom? She might not just be teaching. That's what comes to a parent. I must be honest, what's the first thing that comes to a parent when you know the child is bright.
Okay.
Seem to be bright. One of the issues at hand that parents who do work, they don't know their children as well. Because remember, a child's job is to go to school for 6-8 hours. They
Yes.
come home, they might do a little homework, or they're tired, they go to bed, they might not finish the homework because there's a lot. It's unbelievable. Some of these children have more homework than the president and the governor and his cabinets put together.
Oh, really?
That's
Okay.
how I see it.
Okay.
But at the same token, okay, if a parent admits there is an issue with my child, where do I go from there? You go to special services. Sometimes there's a waiting period because there's paperwork to fill out, tons of paperwork to fill out.
Do they do like a reevaluation?
They do evaluations. Sometimes it's an 8-hour process. Sometimes it's several days. It depends.
Okay.
So is it then after the tons of paper?
Huh?
After the tons of
After
paper,
the tons of
then
paper,
the evaluation, then they decide.
Yes.
I suppose. Okay.
They have to evaluate that test and compare it with studies and see if. And one of the problems with special services, not just territorially, is that a child can be borderline. They don't fit the criteria.
What do you mean? What do you mean borderline?
Well, they just, we used to have a saying, you just pass by the skin of your teeth. but that child is still struggling. If you are borderline, you have to move on. And what's going to happen when you move on? You might not come up with the same things. It's not simple addition, subtraction. You have multiplication. You have geometry. So how do you fit? How do you explain to a child? Okay, you were good in this area, but now, and if they're struggling with addition, subtraction, and multiplication, how are they going to move on to geometry and and other algebra?
So I guess if you're right on that line, your teacher, you could potentially advance on to the next grade, and that's where the problems could potentially start.
Yeah.
And then you're borderline, but you're failing.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
But the test says no, you don't need that help.
Okay.
There is a plan called the 504 plan that it's supposed to help those borderline children, but I'm sorry to say, it is a task.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, so this conference coming up on November 13th and 14th here in St. Croix is called the Learning Disability Awareness Conference. And one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting here, you say that Dr. Tracy Johnson, so she at some point, I guess, suffered from dyslexia. I read this.
She still has dyslexia.
Oh, really? Okay, okay. Because when I read this, I thought maybe she was an authority on this, just talking about it. But she is going through this.
She's
okay.
experienced.
She's
yeah.
So she is an authority. She has the authority on it.
Well, yeah.
So she's experiencing
Yeah,
it.
she's
Yes.
experiencing.
So it's not
she
just by
experiences
her.
it every day.
Right.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. So just tell us who's going to be here, the 13th and the 14th.
Well, we have the first segment. It's called the inaugural, the beginning of the conference. What for me, God has to be in the picture. So I decided that we're going to have it at church. We have Reverend Patricia Phillips, which happens to be the pastor of Tracy Johnson. We have evangelist Tawana Lane. She also has, she started a group called It's Not Always Autism.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's like everything is autism. She's going to cover CAPD, Central Processing Disorder. That's something, it's similar to dyslexia, but it's not.
Okay.
It's the processing of where information is processed to the ear canal.
Okay.
Also, Rockmanda Campbell. She is an expert, actually come from a line of teachers, and when she saw that her techniques were not working in the classroom, she started to research more and began to look into the different areas. Of course, the campaign now in the United States is dyslexia.
Okay.
So she has a reading clinic where she screens children in the Philadelphia area.
Okay.
And I guess in different parts of the states.
Okay.
That she also helps children and adults, actually.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. You spoke about different states have the same cry.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are teachers, there are parents that are going to the authorities and they're saying, listen, we need your help.
Right.
So numbers, very important.
Mm-hmm.
What are your numbers on St. Croix, particularly? What are your numbers on St. Croix that are having that same cry?
We don't have any. Let me put it this way: we don't know what the number is, because since we have the stigma, it's either you're bright or you're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we must be honest, and you have teachers that are helping the children, some children in the areas, and it can be frustrating when you don't understand basically what is going on with a child or children. A lot of our classrooms are overpopulated, and these children would need a smaller group to work. But we don't know because we don't really use the word dyslexia. We don't use the word dysgraphia, dyscalculia. We don't use it. So you don't use something, you don't feel that really there's a need. So we are raising the awareness, not even increasing it, but raise the awareness so we can have those numbers and see where help
Okay.
is possible.
Okay. So how did you guys find out about these three ladies here?
Myself doing the research, when my son came home one day, he was 5. He said to me, "Mommy, don't worry about me going to college. Give me a lawnmower and I'm going to cut grass." And I questioned that. He says, "They're going to put me out of school, and because I'm not doing well." I went to the school, and lo and behold, it was so. It wasn't a government school, it was a private school. They said that he needs help. They couldn't tell me what he needs, what he needed the help. They didn't tell me, well, he wasn't structuring his letters properly, he was not pronouncing his words properly. They just said he needs help. You need to take him to the place where he can get help. I tried a reading specialist. She didn't know what to do. And I tried other people to get tutorials from him, for him.
When you say people, you're talking about local people.
Local people.
Okay. Okay.
And they couldn't help him. So I took him to his doctor's office, and when I took him to the doctor's office, he said, "No, not your son," because he will sit down and dialogue with this baby at 2 years old. He can ask him questions about his patients and what he's going to do and the instruments. And so he said, "Not him." We didn't even know that my son had an eye impairment because he was walking around. Sometimes he would bump into things. Normally, a 2-year-old would do that. But at age 5, when he is actually walking into walls, and you're taking him to the doctor's office and they're saying, "No, he's okay." But I went to get him tested at the eye doctor, and they couldn't believe that the child was walking around with the type of impairment that he had, because it was severe. His vision was 2200.
Wow.
Without glasses.
Okay, and this is at the age of 5?
This is the age of 6, 7.
Okay.
Because, I'm taking him because you have examination in the doctor's office. And he's walking around, so you don't think, there's anything. No, he's just maybe a little clumsy. But it got so severe when he was, one day he was going to school, and finally he says, "Mommy, I can't see anything." His vision, I guess, just got really intense because now he's looking on paper. It's not story rhymes. It's not singing. He's actually looking at a text.
Right, so he's straining up muscles.
And yes, and then I didn't know he has 2 things going on. He has the eye impairment, and he has the processing of the information, which might let things look blurry, backwards, run across the page. So he has both of these things going on, and he's failing, and the teacher is saying, "No, Joshua is just lazy. He doesn't want to participate in class. He runs around, he plays, but when it's time for him to sit down to do work, he doesn't want to."
He doesn't want to do that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Ms. Morris, let me ask you, in your opinion, if these 3 ladies that are coming down on the 13 and the 14 would decide to stay here and live in Virgin Islands, do you think that would make would be the right direction for this awareness?
Wish they could stay here. Yeah, I think it would be.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it will wake up a lot of people here.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
What about you, Haig?
It's a very good idea.
Good idea. Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
One of the things that I want to note, I'm not discrediting the territory.
Yes.
I'm a Virgin Islander. But there are times that we need to acknowledge we need help. I don't care how educated we are, how wealthy we are, how stable we think that we are. There's sometimes in our life there is a defining moment that we are going to need help. And we do need help in the areas of academia.
Okay.
Our children are struggling. And one of the things that I am concerned about, I don't know if anybody is looking at this picture. Yes, I used to teach. I used to be a teacher years ago.
Okay.
And I've had students, I have had children that seem problematic. They were problematic because they were struggling. And those same children that were struggling, if if I talked to the parent and they said, there's nothing wrong with my child. Now some of them are in 2021, even 25, they're in prison.
Okay. Wow.
Some of them have mental issues. When they were little, they did not have those mental issues because a lot of things were not addressed during their developmental stages.
Okay. So in a nutshell, how do you deal, or how do you overcome this? Medicine, therapy. I mean, what's the process?
That's what the experts are going to say. All I can tell you, there are strategies and tools that a person can utilize, and basically, you don't put everything in a nutshell. Medicine, I don't really know of any medicine that can take away dyslexia.
Okay.
I don't know, basically, I have some pointers, but I prefer, since our people are so skeptical, that you hear it from, because I've heard it before, oh, you're not an educator. So you need to leave it up to the educators.
Okay.
And for me, since this is, I consider this is my baby. I want children to learn. I can see a child feeling good because he can, it might not be a big thing, that he can create an O, or he can write a P, or the number one. He struggles, but finally he does it, but then someone says, you didn't do it right. That knocks the child right out of focus. They don't want to do it anymore, and not because they don't really want to do it, but someone say, you're just doing it wrong.
Yes.
We need to change the way how we think about our children learning. See, especially when they're trying, and we see they're trying, you have to look at the child to see when they're trying to bring words out of their mouth and they can't because of processing issue.
Okay.
We need to gain some strategies in order to deal with our children.
So then these strategies can be had on November 13th and 14th. It's called the 2015 Learning Disabilities Awareness Conference in St. Croix. And it will happen on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Miracle Revival Deliverance Tabernacle Church, and that's in Beeston Hill, and right after the Beeston Hill Club, correct?
Yes.
That's the big church on the corner, okay?
Yep.
And then we move over to Saturday, which of course is November 14th, and we're going to start at 10:30. at the Wang F. Louis Hospital and Medical Center cafeteria. And I'm only saying cafeteria like that because we're going to be in the cafeteria and not in the cardiac center conference room, if you will, right?
Okay.
Because we know somebody's going to go to the cardiac center looking, okay? So we are going to be in the cafeteria. And we all know where the hospital is, but for those of you that are listening, that's 4007 Estate Diamond Ruby. So when you come down, because we know you're coming down to this conference, a lot of people coming in, right? So when you come down, you tell the taxi driver that you want them to take you to the Wang Louis hospital, and no, you're not going for anything medical, but we're going for this awesome conference that is going to happen. And the admission for that, if I may, is $40, but there will be a complimentary lunch served. Okay, come out, people. And then there's also going to be a testing, and I wanted to get to that for a minute because
there's going to be a what?
Possibly a testing for dyslexia. That's the one. Possibly.
Possibility. It depends because I have not really had anyone sign up. When people hear test, it's like going to the doctor.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't. I think right now people are more intrigued to want to know, to be more informed before they try to go and say. A good friend of mine say he wants to be tested. But it's the stigma is still there. Although some parents, when I say that my children have a learning disability, they tell me, "Don't say that. Don't say that's not good to say." But under the federal guidelines, it is a learning disability, and it's going to surface anyway.
Right.
Regardless if you hush, is like a woman being pregnant and try to hide it, and no, don't say I'm pregnant, but
it's going to show.
It's going to show. And then after whatever her term is, you're going to see a baby.
Right.
So we need to realize if there is a problem and there is a solution, because that's what we want to do, to find solutions to help our children succeed.
What's the number? Because nobody in Canada don't have any questions. Listen, I want to be tested, right? And I think one of the things that I learned from just in a brief conversation that we've had is that parents need to be tested as well, and that this dyslexia that is hereditary.
Yes, it is.
See,
So
we didn't know this. Okay, so even though we're looking at our children and some of us are getting frustrated with our children because we think our children are smart, but when they get to school, we're hearing something else. Then sometimes we also need to take a step back and look at us.
Yes.
Okay, because we have learned throughout to deal with certain things, but we don't know, we don't understand.
Exactly.
What is going on? Because even as an adult, listen, we don't claim some things, right? But I always had a problem with math. Now I don't know if it was the process, but I always had a problem with math. And even up to my adult age, I would shy away from math because that was the thing, that was the subject that was giving me a problem.
Yes.
Until I started college and I had to talk to myself and said, listen, stop saying that I can't do it and say that you can do it. Now, as an adult, I have the control to do that.
Yes.
Okay? But as children, they need to have that confidence builders.
Yes.
They need to have someone to say, yes, you can do it. They need to have someone that is going to be, and I'm talking that partnership again.
Right.
The village that is going to say, let's do this, we can do this together, and if we don't know, let's find out.
Yes.
Okay? Because if I'm going to ask you, your granddaughter is at home, but besides you, who else is teaching her?
Sometimes her grandfather.
So that's hard.
And he's at work all the time.
Exactly.
So,
so that's hard. So here's where that stress comes in, baby. Okay? Because see, little Eva is at home and she's listening. That's not my name. I'm sorry. Right? But she's at home with grandma. Grandma and granddad. Granddad is working, grandma is home with her, but here's the question, and I'm not going to ask you if you're saying this. Here's the question. And am I being able to help my granddaughter like I should? I know that question comes up, right? So that leaves you with this, again, that leaves you with, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? How I'm going to turn? Am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
But see, I've already turned to somebody and they've turned me back. So, it trickles.
Yeah.
It trickles. It's, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think our government, I know federal mandate has to look at is the children like Eva's granddaughter, who is the age where you have to wait to go to school because your birth date doesn't fall at a certain time.
Okay.
And what do you do with these children?
Right.
Because I've been there, they said my youngest son, he could not go to school. I couldn't afford to keep him in private school.
Okay.
So guess what I had to do? I was working. I had to take that leave time because he was just on the borderline. So when January comes, he could have gone to
school, got enrolled in
to
school,
public
yeah.
school.
Yeah.
And Head Start, you say Head Start, yes, but you have a criteria. If you are making $5 over the amount, that child cannot go into Head Start.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So
Between
this
a rock
is
and a hard place.
yeah. So when you use the phrase "no child left behind," or every child should be eligible and have the right to a public education. They are children. So what do you do with these children that are just left on the fence straddling?
Yeah.
And by the time they go to school, their peers have gone on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
The phrase "left behind," "no kid left behind" doesn't really specifically apply in a sense.
Yeah, but yes, but at the same token, you look at that, and my child is being left behind.
Right.
My children are being left behind. My grandchildren are being left behind because they're straddling on that fence.
Okay.
I can't afford to send them to a private school, and they don't fit because I have $5 over the income. So what do you do with these children?
What are restrictions?
Yeah.
Some barriers need to get out of the way.
Children have developmental stages. Yes, you see them grow, but they're developing, they're changing. And when you pass that stage, it's already gone. So what do you do?
Right.
What do a parent do?
Okay.
What do concerned educators do?
Yeah. What are you guys hoping to get from this conference? They come down Friday and Saturday, and they do their thing, and then they leave, and then what are you guys going to do now?
For myself, I'm sure that my friends, my partners, I should say, my hope is that we be able to start a piloting program to see the success of these children. Now, it's not for me to start a tutorial class and just have just one group of children and whoopee, we're doing it right.
Right.
But if you have as much persons that will come and get the knowledge and would say, okay, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Campbell, would you train us in these areas, which they're willing to do, then we can move forward to be able to help.
Okay.
Whether you're a church group, whether you, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, private schools, parochial schools, even government schools would say, okay, we want to start something to actually focus our attention in these children with these challenges. And I hope parents will cooperate and say, my child is struggling.
Okay.
We don't like to use the word disorder.
Okay.
We feel it's a bad word, some of us. but it is a disorder to the standard way of learning. Does not mean that that child does not have intelligence.
Right.
They don't have creativity, but the standard way of learning, they're struggling.
They're struggling. Okay.
I'm going to go back to a question that I asked you earlier.
Okay.
So, everybody in different states are going to their statesmen, and they're going in numbers.
Right.
Have you approached our senators? Have you approached our lawmakers? And so, is it just you? Or is it just you and somebody else? Your numbers is 2 people, 3 people, and what are the responses?
Okay. I try to go because you don't have much people, like I said before, you don't have much people knowing. They know there is a problem, but to identify that problem and say what it is, they cannot really dialogue
Okay.
in the terms, in the language. I've tried to go to some senators, and it's like they have programs that they are fostering already, or let's leave it up to special education. Have you spoken to the ADA coordinator? It's always a question.
Right.
I actually tried to get one of the chief of staff to find out about the dyslexic law, because I actually submitted the dyslexic law from New Jersey, where it all started. They did the research.
There's a law here in the Virgin
Yes,
Islands about
there's
that?
a code.
Oh, really? Okay.
But what good is a code unless you know about it, unless you increase awareness about it, unless you use it? There are a lot of laws on the books, but we, after the senator goes out, it dies. It just is on the shelf.
The whole initiative just kind of
Yeah,
fails. Yeah.
the initiative is not there to raise the awareness. And then maybe another senator might go in and say, okay, we're going to champion this. But when
Okay.
he goes there, that code is there.
Yeah.
So what is he going to champion?
Yeah. Well, so what does it say?
Huh?
What is it?
Dyslexia.
Yeah. What does it say more specifically?
I really don't know. I just asked them about researching. They said the code, there is a code for dyslexia.
Okay.
Wow.
For
Okay.
dysgraphia and dyscalculia, I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Okay.
I
Okay.
guess they would have to do more research
Okay.
on that. But
Okay.
You could tell me what my phone is saying, 250?
250.
250, like 2 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It is 9:08. It's 9:08.
What good is a code unless an initiative is taken?
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm looking forward to seeing, that we begin to take the initiative and realize we don't all learn alike. There is no one-size-fits-all way in approaching academia. We need to break the stigma. These are the things that are my concerns.
Okay. Ms. Morris, what do you hope to get from this conference this weekend?
Well, I hope to get. I'm hoping that a lot of people showed up so that they could hear and know what this is all about, because most of the time a lot of people don't know anything about what is going on right now.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm just hoping and praying that a lot of people will come out and just bring your friend and sit and listen to what is really going on with our children,
Okay.
Okay.
and even the adults. We
So-
as adults sometimes we don't know that we have a problem.
So this is for adults and children? Both welcome?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes children want to know. My children can identify that they are struggling. Like my little one, he would tell me, "Mommy, I can't read right now because the D flipped in a P, and it's running across the page," because he has attention deficit. So it depends. Now, another child seeing that, he might just be withdrawn, keep it to himself, because a parent might say, "What stupidness you telling me? You just,
Right.
you know, you
Yeah.
like, you know, us the
Yeah.
West Indian people,
Right, right.
So he or she might just hold that to himself. Like I spoke to a mother. Her son is now grown and in prison. He said, "Mom, you know, when I was little, he struggled through school. Very good artist. But she didn't even know the child was an artist. Because she concentrated on him trying to get good grades like his sisters.
Right.
It didn't work out. He went through, he went through juvenile detention until that fatal day.
Yes.
So I am really, really concerned. We need to. It's hitting home. We know what is going on in our community. And another thing, I would like to bring another statistic. I
Okay.
don't know what it is here, but it is stated in the United States that 85% of the prisoners has a learning disability.
Oh, really? Okay.
They were screened. So you
Okay.
have that 15%, they might know what they're doing, per se,
Yeah.
but 85% is a large number.
Very large number.
Very large.
Very large number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it should, ring a bell.
Yeah. So the other thing that I hear you saying in the interview too is that, so it sounds like you don't have any statistics for the Virgin Islands. Is that stuff being collected?
I can't say because maybe there is, but I haven't found any.
Okay. Okay.
I haven't. I guess the doors are closed in a lot of areas. You try to ask questions, and it comes like it's none of your business type of thing.
Okay.
So there might be statistics, and if they are, we need to come to the table, see what's going on, and take the initiative, and not saying that it's not my child,
Yes. Okay.
because we never know.
Yes. And let me ask you, Haig, what do you hope to get from this conference this weekend?
Hopefully, I hope that the committee will come out, and by what was spoken from the professional, that we can take from that, learn from them. Sometimes the parents might learn something from that also. Sometimes the parents cannot detect the problem they have with their kids,
Okay.
especially sometimes the teachers.
Okay.
Not because they are not trained in that area.
Right.
And then if they're not trained in this area, they will not be able to point out exactly what's going on with these children.
Okay.
And then by that, these kids, that's why they are left out. Sometimes,
Okay.
according to statistics, the kids that can't learn, they're going to find something to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and
They
get in
will
trouble.
find something
To do, yeah.
whether it's good or bad, they will find something to do. So we, as parents, and the parents have to be very interested in their kids and to observe.
Yes.
Sometimes you can observe these things,
Okay.
you will not be able to solve the problem.
Okay. Okay. So are there any programs here? I mean, you talk about the VI education system, but are any programs in there or any programs on the outside that kids can go to? Or are we literally kind of starting from ground zero?
There might be, but I'm going to tell you, when a child has a learning disability, people have it closed. Like I said before, I don't want anybody to know.
Right.
But they're the tattletale signs, as it were. You can see it. It's obvious. A child trying to do something, he becomes awkward, and then the community in a whole, he's just so stupid.
Yeah.
But if you can begin to identify and realize there are situations at hand, then you can be like my son. Okay, well, yeah, I have attention deficit. You don't understand, because that's what he talks. You don't understand. You don't understand. That's basically what he would say. He's 9. You don't understand. You don't have my feelings. Because
Right.
sometimes I, a parent, forget. I say, you just need to sit down. You
Yeah.
just need to sit. And he's like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying, but I can't.
Wow.
Even with the processing of information, you're waiting for this child to process this information to even write his name.
Okay.
He's struggling to write that. Doesn't mean that he doesn't know all the letters to his name.
Okay.
But
Right.
he's struggling to
Struggling.
put it down on paper
Paper.
because
Yeah.
his mind is racing so much. So what do you do with that child? Put him on medication, then he falls asleep?
Right.
Okay.
So we have to build the awareness.
Okay.
And the first thing as West Indians, oh, I'm going to get a paddle. I'm going to get a stick. I am not for that at all. If the child is being rude, you need to find out
Why
why.
he's being rude, yeah.
Because we as adults, when we get frustrated, we get steamed. But it's just that no one is saying behave yourself.
Yeah.
And if somebody says so, you know, we said mind your business.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
grown.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
a child does not have that option.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand completely. Man. So our guest tonight achieved the impossible, Inc. They are the hosts of an event coming up this weekend, Friday and Saturday. It's a 2015 Learning Disabilities Awareness Conference here in St. Croix, November 13th and 14th, 2015. And the keynote speakers are Evangelist Tawana Lane. She's the founder and president. It's Not Always Autism. And then Dr. Ramanda Campbell. She's from Philadelphia. She is the founder of the Reading Clinic, Dyslexia Services for Children and Adults. And then also Dr. Tracy Johnson. She's also from Philadelphia, founder of Vessels of Hope. She's also a dyslexia advocate as well. And they'll all be here this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Friday at the Miracle Revival Deliverance Tabernacle Church right here in Christiansted, St. Croix and Beeston Hill. And then on Saturday, they'll be at the Wang Louis Hospital and Medical Center Cafeteria. That's 4007 Estate Diamond Ruby. Admission is $40, and complimentary lunch will be served. I guess I can give out the numbers on this thing, right?
Yes.
Juliet Thomas, who's here tonight, Arthurton. So that's a tongue twister for me. Sorry about that. She can be reached at 340-201-1000 or Darlene Edney, 340-514-0025.
Yes.
Okay.
We still have room for registration.
Yes, there
Okay.
is room for registration, but I must admonish that we need to, if we're going to register, no later than Thursday, because we need to be able to cater to the lunch,
To the lunch, right?
Okay.
and that everybody will be served, because that's forgive me, because I do stutter. That's another thing. Speech impediments. You might see me be able to fluently speak, but I was born with a speech impediment,
Okay.
and it was strategies that I learned, simple strategies that I learned to be able to speak. I did not go to a therapist. A very simple strategy.
Okay.
Learn to sing.
Okay.
So it's a pet peeve of mine if somebody comes to my house and they are not accommodated.
Okay. I
Even
got
if
you.
we find a piece of bread.
Right.
But there is a cost, and I think you should be able to sit down. And one of the strategies in learning that you must eat, because you can't think when you don't eat.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
You can't think straight on an empty
No.
belly, right?
So again, guys, remember that this very, very important 2015 Learning Disability Awareness Conference in St. Croix, November. That's Friday, November 13th, and Saturday, November 14th. Starting on Friday at 7:30, Miracle Revival Deliverance Tabernacle Church, and then we move over on Saturday to at 10:30 at the Wang F. Louis Hospital and Medical Center cafeteria.
Yes.
Right, David, you coming? Okay, I won't put you on the spot. All right, and so again, the numbers are 340-201-1000 or 340-514-0025. So if you don't even get the name, say, listen, I'm calling because I'm interested in the conference that's coming up. Okay, and again, you want me to call the name then? Evangelist Tawana Lane. I got that one right?
Yes.
Okay, and the founder and president of It's Not Always Autism. And then Dr. Ramanda Campbell, the founder of Reading Clinic Inc., Dyslexia Services for Children and Adults. Dr. Tracy Johnson, founder of Vessels of Hope Inc., a dyslexia advocate. We also have our special featured guest, which is Apostle Patricia Phillips.
Yes.
All right. And she's going to be offering a prayer. She's going to be part of the
giving
conference.
some words of wisdom.
Okay.
Because she actually was one of the mentors for Dr. Johnson.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. And then, if I may, so after you have gotten all of this information on Friday and on Saturday, and then you move over to the Faith Moravian Church on Sunday.
Yes.
At 3 p.m. because we're going to have our 3rd annual Dancepiration. So if you like to dance, David, come out. Okay?
I haven't danced in about 10 years, so.
Well, that's okay. Well, look at us.
We're
We're going to look nice
rusty.
dancing.
A little rusty.
Right? But we're inviting everybody out to the Dancepiration. It's all different groups come out and they just dance and just perform for you in the Word. And so that's at the Faith Moravian Church, 302B Barron Spot. I'm trying to remember these numbers. And it's only a small donation of $5, but it's going to go towards our building project that we're having there. Okay? So again, we look forward to seeing everybody.
Okay. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, any quick final words? Just, one at a time. Any final words real quick?
Hopefully that the people in the community will come out and support this event.
Okay. Perfect.
Eva?
And I hope that everybody will come out too and support this, thing that we are having because it's really going to be, a blessing to somebody.
Okay.
It is. It is.
And for me, it's to break the stigma, for us to raise the awareness so our children can have success.
Success.
David?
Okay. And Ms. Brown?
Word of wisdom?
Word of wisdom. That's what we call it.
We actually start living when we escape the fear of being judged. As we are humans, not angels, we will make mistakes to learn. Our involvement in even the nastiest activities couldn't defy ourselves for a lifetime. We get into the darkness to understand the value of light within. So, how can we be flawless when we are born with errors which we have to fix ourselves? And I thought this was just so fitting because of what we're talking about.
Yes.
And this is by Marian Mirza. Marian Mirza, words by Marian Mirza. And it sounds to me that she's been having some sort of struggles too because this just fit just right.
Fit perfectly, yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, and my final words are simply our prayers and His blessings. When you put it all together, you get one perfect love. That'll do it for us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. We have another show lined up at 8 p.m. I just want to say real quick that this is the It's Your Perspective talk show. We are streaming live from the VI.com. We're in a high-tech, low-tech studio. Hit us up on our YouTube channel, It's Your Perspective Talk Show. I want to give a shout-out to CHS Class of 1982.
And 77.
And 77. And our guests tonight, most importantly, they're from the Achieve the Impossible, Inc. They have a special, some hosts. They're hosting a special show this weekend. We have 3 keynote speakers coming in Friday and Saturday. Check out YouTube in a few hours and you'll get to see the entire show. So on that note, we're out. We'll see you again tomorrow night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.